It's time for the Skyhawks Coaches Corner, recorded live at the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad Museum.
Welcome to the Skyhawks Coaches Corner, brought to you by Centura Health and Mercy Regional Medical Center. I'm your host, Bob Bonner. We're at the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad Museum, as always, and joined this week by Skyhawks golf coach, Jim Foltz. And Coach, we're in the home stretch of your season, one of the rare, we've got so many seasons going on this spring as we rebound from COVID and everybody's getting to compete again. You guys are actually playing, a schedule that you usually play. The RMAC Championships coming up soon. And you've got a couple of teams. We haven't seen the women much on the course. Your spring season was odd. The women played heavy in the beginning of it. The men are getting some tournaments late. But let's talk a little bit about the two teams and where they're at right now.
I'll start with the ladies first. The ladies team has come a long, long way. Our last tournament at Palm Valley, they went from 20th to 17th, and normally we're in the bottom half. We're building a program, and it's going to take us 2 or 3 years to get there, like the men's program. My mask keeps falling down. And as they see the men practice, they practice. Mm-hmm. And so when you have so many ladies on a team, and we were required to carry 12, but the new AD says I can scale it down. Mm-hmm. That's a good thing. And the reason why is because to be a competitive team, you've got to be able to control what you got.
Right.
And 12 ladies on a golf course, or trying to give them all instruction on how to do things,
sure.
It becomes a little difficult. And I want to thank Brandon Lineback for helping me out with that.
Well, it enriches the quality, I've got to think, of the Division II golf experience for each of those athletes. You can only score 5 when you get to the championships, and obviously you want to be building some depth behind that. But yeah, if you're going to give the instruction that you need to bring these girls where they need to be to compete and really enjoy being out there, it allows you more individual attention on each of their game, doesn't it?
Yes, sir, it does. The other part of it is that when you speak about 5, I have my 4, sure. And tomorrow we're having our playoff. 3 of the ladies are going to play off for that 5th spot. That's how close it is. And when you have so many, they all want to compete, but the cream always rises to the top, and that 5th spot is open. I've already confirmed 4. And I'm waiting on the 5th, and I'll know tomorrow afternoon sometime when that'll be.
Okay. Now I'm going to have you reveal the 4 to me here in a minute, but first tell us that process of picking the 5th and playing it off. You're able in a practice setting, obviously, to generate some stress and pressure and intensity, a competitive style of pressure and intensity in a practice situation. So there's a benefit to that. In some ways, that's got to be kind of fun as a player, but in some ways, that's got to be one of the more intense situations you're ever in, to be in a practice situation, basically they're playing already to extend their season by a week. That's a spot for a young golfer, isn't it?
It is. Well, because of the depth of the roster, and how I do it is how most coaches do it. They look at the scores across the board, and then they combine them, and they add them all up, and the average. Well, in this particular case, 3 of my girls were within 1 stroke of each other. Now, if I went by the letter of the law, I could have said, all right, low score, sure. Although it's 1/10 maybe of a stroke off, gets it. But that's not the way I work it. I think it should be, you're under a pressure situation, and give me all you got, and here are the best 3. So there you go.
Well, and I don't care what sport you're in. I think this is particularly true for golf. You ride the hot hand.
That's correct.
I mean, someone who's carding low scores for you, in March is maybe not the person who's going to punch your ticket in April for you. So this gives you an opportunity. The player that's playing the best right now can qualify for that position.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because we, like the men, and I'll transition real quickly here.
You bet, please do.
The men, they're peaking right now.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's going to continue, but we got 2 more tournaments, and I don't want them to peak, and then we get to RMAC and we shoot ourselves in the foot. So with the ladies, they're just starting to peak. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think it's important that we have this 3-lady playoff, because all 3 of them could take the 5th spot at any time. And one of them was hot in the beginning. Mm-hmm. They're not hot now. So they know what's at stake. They all agreed to it. I have all the scores across the board, so there can't be any arguments. Now, there could be some, hurt feelings or shedding of tears because I'm emotional about it because I want them all to go.
Yeah.
But I can only take 5. And
So which 4 are going? Which 4 women are going?
And the order is, it's going to be Emma, it's going to be Maddie, it's going to be Sophie, and it's going to be Emilia, who you'll interview here in a little bit.
Sure. Okay. And with that group set, the other, what is your realistic objective for then the women's team at the RMAC Championships? What do you want to do?
Realistically, there's 12 teams, and I was just looking at the RMAC practice this morning, and I think we should be in the top 8. Okay. That's how well we're playing. Okay. When we were in Palm Valley, they really came. I mean, when they were in 20th and took it all the way up to 7th, they passed 2 or 3 teams that were just should have beat us, but they didn't, and they stuck it out.
Well, on the scores, and we will talk to Emilia. I mean, your girls in your last tournament are carding 18-hole scores, 10 strokes better than they were a couple of months ago or
they
in the fall. So you can see that the women's program has, the ceiling's up. We don't know where the ceiling is yet, I think,
Correct.
with them. And if they put it together at the RMAC Championships and surprise some people, great. If not, it's part of the growing process. I think there's no immediate, we have to do this at the RMACs for your women's team. It's just sort of fun to enjoy the ride right now, isn't it?
I am enjoying the ride. They have really impressed me because of their work ethic, the time they put in, they care. It's not a social event, and a lot of women's teams, it's a social event. They get there and they just talk to each other, but they really, what I see is they really want to win.
And the beauty of golf is it's a social event, lifelong activity.
That's right. But there's a little bit of passion
Sure,
there, you know
sure.
what I mean? That says,
Good.
we want you.
Well, and you can see it in the scores. Like I said, the improvements in the women's team scores, from earlier this spring or the fall to now, pretty impressive. Now the men's team, it's a little harder to shave scores when you're already shooting par, below par in some of these tournaments, and that's a situation that you find yourself in. You can actually question, boy, have we peaked? How do we find ways to make sure that peak's a little higher? Talk to us about a men's team that's playing very well right now coming into the season.
The difference between the ladies team, I spent 3 years with the men's team as an assistant coach, and then I became the head coach. The men have got it. They figured it out. They know they got to do it on their own. I can't do it for them. It's a mental game, like putting or like hitting the ball, striking. And I've put our players on the men's team with the best teams in the nation. CSU Pueblo, 14th in the nation or 15th in the nation. I purposely asked the directors of the golf tournaments that we're in, put us with them. Okay. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that has made them better players. Not only that, their work ethic, their heart, the way they want to win. They want to win so bad. I mean, I saw it this weekend. It was unbelievable. Our first 2 rounds are usually our killer rounds. I mean, they just kill us.
Right.
Especially that first round. They hung tough. They came back that second round, and they walked 36 holes, carrying their bags. Sure. 36 holes in one day. And it's the survival of the fittest. That's how I believe it.
I like the theory of pairing your golfers with good golfers. Greatness begets greatness. I believe that as well. But at what point did you, last fall or maybe it was, the year before, did you see the transition mentally from your players seeing who they were being paired with and saying that's how I want to play to that's how I should play or that's how I can play? When did they start really?
It actually happened, and you're going to interview him with Blake. I made him my captain because he's got heart. Okay? He knew, he saw my vision. Before, I can talk to the other guys, I can talk to the incoming freshmen, but he saw the vision. And they took it upon themselves to practice and play tournaments and do things as a team, as a cohesive unit, versus me having to say, hey, are you guys practicing? Hey, we're going to have a practice tonight. They did it on their own. I don't take any credit for it. And then I hired Coach Devin, Coach D. Schreiner, and He's played for Fort Lewis, and he knows what it's like to be competitive. And I've kind of given him the men's team to help me with it, because now I'm focusing on the ladies team.
Sure.
But they all have my heart. And what I see with the men's team in the fall was unbelievable. And they were upset. I mean, they were upset because we're not playing. A lot of teams got COVID. And I kept them away from the gym. I kept them away from each other as far as if you're going to practice. They got it. And some teams didn't. And they were cut out. They couldn't go to tournaments. And we have not missed a tournament unless it was canceled by weather or by COVID reasons.
Now, making it to tournaments was great. Playing well at them. I mean, that's the other part of that. And you guys you're smoking right now. I mean, Darren, Samuel, you've got freshman card and nice scores right now.
Nicholas.
You got Riley golfing unattached last weekend and finishing in the top 30 area.
Yes.
And then you've got a senior that we're going to be visiting with soon, that you just sort of get the feeling he's been so consistent. He's going to put something together and do something special here at the end of his final season. I mean, things really are kind of coming together for this men's team. It just as a coach, when you'd want them to, knock on wood.
Yeah, well, you just got to be patient. Golf is a mental game. There is no PhDs in golf. If there was, then everyone would be doing it. But
the smarter you think you are at golf, the dumber you are.
And the better you think you are.
That's been my experience.
The better you think you are, the worse it gets.
Sure.
So what these guys, they're riding the coattails. They're having fun. They're enjoying life, and I want this to be an experience that they'll take with them forever.
What's your message to them now in these final? There's not a lot. I mean, are you even really fine-tuning, or are you just saying go golf, get more confident, play your holes, and let's see what you got, guys?
What I've found with this team, they don't need a lot of direction. You got a captain that takes charge. That's him. So.
Okay, good. It's nice to be able to take your hands off the steering wheel. Is that really what you sort of an objective of coaching is? It's like raising kids. Ultimately, what you really want to do is see them succeed on their own. Being at that stage with that program right now is got to be nice for you and the players both.
Well, it's great for me because they know my standards. And it's not so much the golf score, but how we do things, how we act on the golf course, how we interact with people, how we represent Fort Lewis College. They got it down to a science. I don't say a word. I did not go with them to Las Vegas. I was with the ladies team. But the feedback I got from other coaches who normally are not in Fort Lewis's, eyeballs.
Sure.
They said, "Coach, what are you doing?" And I said, "I got great captains."
Pretty soon you're going to have other teams saying that they want their kids paired with yours on the course.
Well, I hope so. I hope sooner than later.
Great place to be. Coach Jim Foltz, thanks so much for joining us on the Skyhawks Coaches Corner today. We're going to go ahead and visit with Emilia Manntz and Blake Kuzava when we come back right after these. Welcome back to the Skyhawks Coaches Corner, brought to you by Centura Health and Mercy Regional Medical Center. We're filming at the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad Museum. I'm your host, Bob Bonner, joined by Fort Lewis College women's golfer, Emilia Manntz. And Emilia, you're coming up on the end of the COVID season. A lot of weird stuff has happened, and all that. It's nice to be able to leave all that behind us here and talk about just competition. You guys are coming up on the RMAC Championships, and you in particular, I think as a team, you guys have shown a tremendous amount of improvement this spring, going back to last fall. But you've cut dang near 10 strokes off a round from where you were earlier in the spring. Are you living right? What are you eating? What's that's got to feel good.
It does.
I'm a golfer. I'm not a good golfer. That's got to feel good to be performing that well. What's the secret? What as much of it as you can give us?
Oh, the secret. I don't know. I think it's just like being out there, getting some more experience, like playing holes. A lot of my putting too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has made a huge improvement.
Okay.
Like I started like putting this way instead, like
Sure.
cross hands. Just practicing. I don't know, just getting out there and like, I think more like mental game too.
Sure.
Not
So not
being
stuff
so
you
hard
could
on myself.
not stuff you could do on a simulator. You needed to play.
Yeah,
you
for
need
sure.
to get on the course and play. So
Yeah.
where here we are in Durango. Every once in a while, fresh 8 inches of snow is on the ground when
Yep.
you wake up in the morning, and it's
Yeah.
particularly tough to putt in 8 inches of snow.
Mm-hmm.
What So what have you been doing? You've been running around New Mexico, Arizona. What do you guys do to find sunshine and green grass?
No, that's the way it is. Sometimes it's snow. We've been a lot at simulator, just trying to like just hit like a solid, just hitting the ball solid. We've been going on to New Mexico to Riverview and practicing as much as we can.
Sure.
That's about it, really. That's about what you can do with the snow and everything.
You talk about being athletes and putting in the hard work.
Yeah.
God dang, jumping in a vehicle with your friends and running to a golf course to play around in New Mexico. That sort of work kind of sounds fun.
Yeah.
I mean, is that part of the key to you? Because like I said, you aren't the only one who's cut a lot of strokes this spring. Obviously, you guys are working together doing. I mean, has that been part of the secret? Have you guys enjoyed this process this spring? And I mean, these little golf road trips and everything. That just sounds like fun to me.
Yeah, no, for sure. Just a team experience. I think we've gotten a lot closer as a team, and just like playing with each other, playing holes, doing like a little like small tournaments with each other.
Okay.
I think it's been a really big help.
No golfer can help themselves on that. If you put 2 golfers together on a golf course, by gosh, they're gonna make friendly wager out of it. They're gonna make a contest out of it somehow.
Yes.
Nobody can just go out and play themselves
No.
if they're with other people. And that is the fun of the game. So
Yeah.
what? So do you feel like really, in spite of the mask and the COVID and everything, have you gotten the full experience this year, the full Division II college golf experience?
I think so, except the one tournament that got canceled
Sure.
because of COVID. I think this semester has gotten like, we've been getting back to like the old normal habits of like playing and playing tournaments, playing golf.
Okay.
I think it's getting back to normal. We're getting there, and just with the vaccination and everything, I think next year it's gonna be great for us.
Yeah, to not even have to mention it. What in light of all that and stuff, realistically, what are what are your goals? What are you're obviously a leader on the team. You guys have talked. What do the women hope to accomplish at the RMAC Championships this year? What have you guys put a number on it, or is it just you want to feel a certain way after? Or is there a certain part of the game you all want to get better at? What as a team leader, what's your feel for your teammates and the squad going into the RMACs and what you guys want to accomplish there?
I personally, I just want us to gain more experience with like playing tournaments. And I think, as Coach said, like top 8 would
Sure.
be like our goal. I think that's where we are. I think as long as I've been here, our team has never looked this good. With girls, the swings are perfect. And I think the course we're playing is really like technical. You really have to like place your first shot in the correct position. I want us to just like have fun, gain experience, and of course like I want us to play good too. Sure. But I think that also comes with like, just like getting experience, and it's a 3-day
Sure.
tournament. Not all the shots are going to be great. So we just have to be grinding out there, no like giving up, just like, grinding it out.
Well, the goal is then for this with a young team, this isn't unusual. A young sort of building program.
Yeah.
The goal at this RMAC is largely to do things at this RMAC to make the next RMAC even better. And so that sounds realistic to me. It sounds like you guys are set to have some fun too. We're getting the high sign here that we're done now. The athletes who come on the show, we do a little game I call the one to wrap it up. Okay, a little rapid fire game. I'm going to ask you 5 questions.
Yeah.
Just first thing that pops into your head.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Pretty easy ones. Who's your favorite professional athlete?
My favorite professional athlete has to be probably, wow.
Is it a golfer? Would it be a favorite golfer?
I don't know. I think Tiger Woods is awesome.
Sure.
There's also this Swedish football player.
Okay.
Or, sorry, soccer.
No,
Soccer
please.
player. I think he's great too. Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
I'm not even going to try to say that, but that's cool. Now, why is he? Now we're going to use a little extra time. Why is he great?
No, I think just the way he talks. He's just always so respectful for others.
Okay. He's an athlete you can pattern yourself after.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I think he's just really great, and the way he represents himself, and I don't know. I think it's great.
That's great. That was an interesting answer. Okay, we'll rapid fire the last four.
Okay.
Tea time, evening or morning?
Morning.
Okay. What's your favorite course right now to play?
Ooh, either just home court Hillcrest or I really like what's it called? I mean, I love our home course too, back in Sweden. Yeah.
Okay. So home's where the heart is for you.
Yes.
Whatever the course that's closest is your favorite course at the time. That's nice to find a golfer like that.
Yes.
Best round. What's your best round that you can think of?
I think best round ever is probably tournament wise is 77.
Okay. Where was that? And I mean, where'd you shoot that?
That was I forgot the name of it. It's in Grand Junction.
Okay. Well, of course, it's up there where you go play Colorado Mesa tournaments and stuff. See, now I'm new to Colorado, so I'll have to look that up.
It just flew out of my head.
Coach Foltz will help us with that.
Good.
All right.
Awesome.
Final question. Do you have a favorite sports movie?
Sports movie?
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore?
Great.
First
Perfect
one that
answer.
came into my mind.
I'm so grateful that you said Happy Gilmore. Some golfers got to claim that as their favorite golf movie. Thank you to Emilia Manntz for joining us on the Skyhawks Coaches Corner today. We've still got Blake Kuzava to go. He's coming up next, right after these.
A new surge of COVID-19.
These unprecedented times, the infection rate.
With all the talk in the news, it's easy to stop listening.
But here on the front lines, this virus is incredibly real.
So please, wear a mask.
Stay 6 feet apart and wash your hands. Avoid gathering with people outside of your household.
Stay connected to your doctor.
And don't delay care when you need it.
Please, let's have each other's backs.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Skyhawks Coaches Corner, brought to you by Centura Health and Mercy Regional Medical Center, and filming today at the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. I'm your host, Bob Bonner, joined now by senior men's golfer Blake Kuzava. Thanks for joining us, Blake.
Thank you.
We're coming to the end. You know, we've talked about a young girls team. We talked to Coach about a men's team that's really coming together, and you guys have more experience in the girls team, but still quite a bit of youth. You're one of the rare athletes we talked to this year that's in the home stretch. And Coach just says great things about you and your leadership abilities and the role you've played in helping this team coalesce this spring, and even last fall we started to see a little bit of the touch of it. What's that been like as a senior to see the program come from where it was when you got here to you guys are knocking on the door and going to scare some people at the RMACs?
It's been a pretty awesome ride for the most part. I mean, this year, having 3 people come in that are just such competitors and want to win as badly as they want to. I mean, this is the deepest team that we've had since I've been here. We have 7 or 8 guys that would do anything for the program and want to win more than, I mean, I consider myself someone who is a diehard competitor, and man, some of these kids, they want it more than I do, and it's pretty hard not to succeed to a certain extent when you have teammates like that. So it's been a really cool it's been really cool to kind of see where we're getting to.
What's that done to the practice dynamic, to the round you guys go out? We heard Emilia talk about, run around New Mexico, Arizona. You guys are the same way. You go where the sun's shining to find a round in the spring down here. What does that competitive dynamic done to the overall practice, to the team dynamic, to your relationships. Has that made it different? And I'm thinking it'd make it more fun, but realistically, or is it, oh my God, has it brought the pressure up to a level where it's tougher?
It's kind of a good balance between fun and pressure. We try to base our practice around pressure, though, because we know the best way for us to play well in tournaments is to have felt that pressure before. So we always practice with the intent of applying some of that pressure. But we're out there every day. We'll drive to New Mexico 4 or 5 times a week if necessary, especially before tournaments, because that's what we do to make sure that we're as primed as we can be. And it doesn't always work out, but practice is where it all starts, honestly.
As a bad golfer, I can tell you that I think I've figured out that the person who can have fun with the pressure is the guy who's going to succeed the most on a course. The guy who tried to and failed to turn me into a good golfer always used to talk about the other game of golf.
Yeah.
Do you guys dig? And I mean, he was a master at sitting back in the cart and saying something right before you teed off to completely ruin your round. Wait, do you guys do that to each other a little bit? Is that part of creating a pressure atmosphere in practice that can hope can match maybe what you feel coming down on you on the 18th hole?
Yeah, I mean, we give it back and forth. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all great friends and we all love each other, and but we like to have fun and challenge each other mentally, whether that be just putting extra pressure on someone when it matters in practice or not. It's at the end of the day, it's just awesome that we're all we have such close bonds. And
I just think it'd be great mic'd up footage. To go with a good golf team, guys who are hitting the ball well, like you guys are right now, and playing well and doing that give and take. To be that little mouse in the corner, to hear some of that, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Talk a little bit about yourself, Blake. Now let's go ahead and I know you as a team captain, you do a great job of focusing on the team and everything. But give yourself a minute here. Man, you're consistent. I've been looking at your scores. I mean, I told Coach, just looking at you on paper, hearing what he says, you got a chance, boy. You could pop a couple shots early, and is that the dream for you right now of knowing that you're knocking on the door for that, and why not you? Are you going in the RMACs thinking, why not me?
Yeah, my game's been awfully close to clicking for the past 2 years. I still haven't quite put it together like I've hoped to, but it's gonna happen. You put in the work, and you know that at some point it's gonna click. I'm hoping that. I know Coach talked about kind of peaking. I don't think our team is actually close to our peak yet, which is I do understand where he's coming from, but I see a very high ceiling for myself and our team. But for me, just personally, I just got to keep doing my stuff, and just this last week I struggled a little bit on the greens, so this week preparing for next, I'll put in the hours that are necessary to improve that, and try to make it all click at the right time.
And you're not going to make any big changes. I mean, muscle memory is what it is right now. But just enough extra time on the practice green to plant that thought. Okay, I got it. Is that the sort of work you put in this week?
Yeah, and golf as a whole is all based on repetition. You're not just going to pick something up and be good at it in this sport. If you're not putting the hours of work in, it's you might as well not even really try, in my opinion. But so that's just something that I'm gonna grind out for a week and make sure it's not huge changes, but it's incremental changes.
Hopefully the important ones.
Yeah, that shave 4 or 5 strokes off potentially or a tournament. So
Good.
Those are huge.
No, and hoping that they do pay off and the sun shines on you. Next week, Blake. So we've got a minute now. Let's wrap it up. We're going to play the one with you. Probably ask you the same questions I asked Emilia, but let's go ahead and see, because you might take me in a different direction unless your favorite athlete is some guy in Sweden who kicks a soccer ball around.
No.
So first question, who is your favorite athlete?
It's pretty easy. I know she said it first, Tiger Woods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you know what? Everybody likes it, so I'm going to do this to you a little bit. After Tiger Woods, who's your next favorite golfer?
Next favorite golfer or
Yeah.
athlete?
No, let's go golfer. Let's after Tiger. Who?
I know this might be a little bandwagony after last week, but Jordan Spieth is my number 2.
Okay. No, I'll take that.
Yeah.
How about sports movie? What's your favorite sports movie?
Miracle on Ice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good old hockey. I'm a hockey guy, so.
Yeah, myself as well.
Mystery Alaska is my favorite one, though.
Oh, nice.
That's a really good movie. Let's talk about what's your favorite course to play right now.
I would say when I go back home, I work at a course called Bear Creek, which is really quality golf course. I love playing Hillcrest. I mean, we're truly blessed to get to play out there every day. But as far as my favorite, we talked a little earlier about quick rounds.
Yeah.
I love getting out there and playing in 3 hours. Yeah, so you can't beat that at Bear Creek.
Okay. What was your best round and where'd you play it?
Probably my best round non-tournament is 65. Tournament is 69, and that was just at a Colorado Open qualifier this summer.
Where'd you shoot the 65?
65 was at a course called Fox Hollow, which is probably 5 minutes away from my house. It's actually across from the course that I work at, but yeah.
Okay. If you had to play a round with one club, this last question. You just took one club out, play a whole round. Which club you taking?
I think I could fire a decent round with like a 6. I'd say 6 iron.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You short stick it. You can putt with it too.
I think I can like blade it around. Yeah, I think I could putt pretty well with it. Yeah.
If not, just play hockey with it at the end.
Yeah.
Of the day. Hey Blake, good luck at the RMACs and finishing out your senior season. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on the Skyhawks Coaches Corner. We're pleased to have you, and want to thank the folks here at the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad Museum and the people at Centura Health and Mercy Regional Medical Center for sponsoring the program. Thank you, everybody. Keep soaring.